There are over 21 peer-reviewed studies that show, science-backed, that when you connect to the earth, your body immediately starts to reverse inflammation.
Earth has a slight negative charge, negative 20 millivolts. And when that connects with your body, it actually calms the body, it lowers the viscosity of the blood, it allows our bodies to heal, and it reduces inflammation.
The benefits include improved immune function, digestion, sleep, injury healing, blood circulation, faster exercise recovery, normalization of certain hormone rhythms, reduced inflammation, and reduced stress.
The benefits continue to extend the longer you do it, and I want to go over the scientific literature to tell you exactly what you're doing when you're just connecting for a second and exactly what you're doing when you're connecting for years and years and years, okay? So let's just go over that right now. So your muscle tension immediately drops and is measurable on an electromyogram. So that is a measurable, noticeable, instantaneous change, as well as your ambient voltage of your entire body shifts, your EEG brain waves change, and your skin conductance. So that's instantaneous. So muscle, skin, brain, and also levels of pain are instantly shifted. Sustaining it for a few minutes in medical studies has shown to have an impact on your organ function and on your vasculature. So blood viscosity changes. So we're talking about this, now we're moving into studies that have gone on for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, in the range of several minutes. So just within minutes, you've really affected your circulatory system and all of the end organs that are targeted by your circulatory system, because now you've increased circulation, you've increased blood viscosity, you've increased your respiratory rate, so you've increased oxygenation, and now you've stabilized your blood glucose. So you have an immediate change in the metabolic function of your entire body. Now let's look at studies that have gone into hours. So one night is all it takes to change your indicators of osteoporosis. It affects your bones at this point, all right? Deep into your bones. You are affecting and changing your metabolic panel. So all of your electrolytes and your minerals, your calcium, your phosphorus, your potassium, your magnesium, even your iron levels change after just 1 8-hour session. So sleeping grounded for one night changes your osteoporosis indicators, which show that bone metabolism and growth is actually affected. The other thing that it affects now with just one night is thyroid function. So now you're talking about something, not just physiological immediate changes and not just talking about, supporting the organs inside your body, but now we're talking about how they interrelate with each other. We're talking about the structural support with your bones, and we're talking about the hormonal support with your thyroid. All right, your cortisol levels can be affected by just one night of sleeping grounded. Your thyroid function panel changes and shifts dramatically, so that thyroid function is actually boosted just in one night. Now we're moving into studies that talk about several days. If you earth and are connected to the earth for several days straight, you actually are more resilient and more adaptable to life's stress and to demands on the physical body. There's one study in particular I'm thinking of where men were given a heavy load to lift, a very, very stressful amount of weight. And then they were grounded just one time, and then they were grounded for 1, 2, and 3 days afterwards. And the grounded participants were not only able to meet that one challenge with less inflammation in their body and less stress on their body, but they were able to recover easier, meaning their body had less inflammatory markers afterwards, they recovered quicker, and they had less pain and less physiological damage after the stress. So now we're talking about, over a course of days, earthing making you more resilient, more adaptable, and more able to recover from stress. So now we're talking about not just the physiological change, the organ change, the metabolic change, the function as a whole, but now we're talking about our ability to navigate life more effectively. So we're talking about stress recovery, and we're talking about increasing adaptability when we're talking about earthing now for several days. We're decreasing inflammation markers, we're decreasing cortisol and stress on the body, we're decreasing pain, and we're increasing our recovery. And so now we're at years out. All these other studies have, from instantaneous changes to changes over days, weeks, and months shown the support to the human body. But now we're looking at studies over years. What do I anticipate over years? Over years, I anticipate anti-aging benefits and anti-cancer benefits, because it turns out most of the diseases that we are confronted with as a society are from chronic inflammation. Lots of cancers, lots of chronic diseases that we used to think was just a result of old aging is actually just either repetitive injury or repetitive inflammation and stress, right? So, arthritic changes, dementia changes, stroke, heart attack, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and cancers that were thought to just increase with age are actually really just increasing with inflammation. And so when we increase inflammation, either through poor diet or stress on the body, EMFs and that kind of thing, then we're accelerating all of those conditions. And when we decrease inflammation on the body and stress on the body, then we are relieving, I anticipate finding, relieving the incidence of these kinds of illnesses.
This particular sheet, I don't know if you can see it, I'll show you a picture. It contains a fine mesh of silver wiring that is conductive. Its purpose is to lower your body voltage. So we're doing an experiment using a voltmeter and in various situations. So first thing, it comes with a ground tester, a circuit tester.
Right.
And this is just to make sure before you plug it in that the circuit you're plugging it into has been wired properly.
You want to make sure that you've got a properly wired outlet, that the ground pin, the ground plug is
Goes
in
to
fact
ground.
goes to ground. So that's very important.
It's pretty hard to plug this thing in to not ground. It won't fit. So thank God for that.
Right. It's a round banana plug, so it's meant to plug into just the
First things first, regular body voltage.
Yeah, let's measure the body volts.
Okay.
So it's going through the meter, measuring AC volts, and we're at 3.18, 3.19 volts, something like that. And if I do the same for myself, I'm a little lower, but if I notice, I have to hold it, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So if I get closer to the wall,
3.6,
I go to
yeah.
3.6, but then I move away from the wall, I'm at 3.0. Okay, so now I'll get Kayla to hold the hand probe, and now provided she's touching some of the sheets, like there's some
fair surface helps more.
Okay, so now I plug in this thing, and now look at her body voltage has dropped to about 83, 70, 66 millivolts.
Yeah,
Okay,
so like 0.05.
Yeah, so very, very much lower. And again, so watch it jump up. She's at, about 92. I unplug. Now she's back up to 2,630 millivolts, or 2.6 volts. So significant difference. So bed sheets are great. There's usually some part of your body, even in the wintertime with PJs on or something like that, you've got your hands and your feet are going to touch.
I was really pleasantly surprised. It was just so much better. I fell asleep so much faster, and I woke up so refreshed.